across Europe generally, never mind just in Ireland.
There was a lot of calls there pertaining to mothers who have children going back to school. I want to read out some of the directives from the HSE in a moment. I just want to get to some text first in relation, firstly, to swine flu. I have a new baby. I'm very concerned about swine flu, very confused about what I'm to do to protect the baby, especially with lots of visitors calling. The advice is not very clear. As a teacher who will be heavily pregnant on my return to school in September, I'm also extremely worried. I have asked both staff in the hospital and my GP for advice, but none of them really know, which is even more worrying in relation to that. Facebook. 18 years of age, and I think that I would disown my parents if they ever invaded my private life like that. Parents like that need to learn to trust their children and to let them be children and to leave them be. That is ridiculous. How dare she check up on her son by checking his mobile phone? He's 15. He should be able to make his own mistakes. You live and you learn. And a 14-year-old daughter, and I would never check her texts or emails, but most mums I know do check, saying that they're in their 40s. I'm in my early 30s. My daughter confides in me all the time, and I've no need to spy on her. That's from Caroline and Claire. Paul, you want to make a point?
It's exactly on that, actually. Between the ages of about 14 and 18, the only things I ever said to my parents was, I hate you, but give me money and then give me a lift to town. And I can only imagine if they were snooping in my Facebook and I actually found out they were doing it. And it is modern day opening post. It is modern day curtain twitching. It is wrong. It's the lesser of the evils, but it's most certainly wrong. Of course I would do it. What I'm saying is, don't get caught. Just do not get caught, because they will disown you. It breeds mistrust, and you know, you don't need to add to an already very volatile and combustive situation the fact that you're snooping. Just be good, be clever.
The danger is you pick up half a conversation. It's like anything in the media. If you half read a story,
I'm saying,
you get the wrong end of the
sometimes
stick.
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
Murray.
no, it's not. I go on with Bibo's side to have a look at it. He was in the Irish College, for instance, and unlike in my day where you never heard or seen the people who were in Irish College would ever again, all the photographs were up by the following evening on
photographs.
Really, I met his nice new girlfriend and all the rest of it. And but you know, I didn't go looking to go on to look at that. Yeah. He showed me the photographs.
Does she know she's met you yet?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I did say that I would read out some of the directives from the HSE in relation to swine flu, particularly pertaining to schools and to children going back. Just give you a few of them here, might clear up some of the confusion. Schools should continue to operate normally and there is no need for closure at this stage. Children who have just returned from holidays abroad are not required to stay away from schools unless they have flu-like symptoms. If a child develops flu in school, they should be sent home and placed in a small office away from other pupils while they wait to be collected. They should then contact the HSE flu information line. I'll give that to you now and give it to you later if you need to get a pen. It's 1-800 94 1100. That's 1-800 94 1100, or visit swineflu.ie. If a child develops flu outside of school, they shouldn't return until at least 7 days after the onset of the symptoms, and parents should send their children to school as normal unless the child shows symptoms of flu. So they're pretty clear and concise. As I say, you can get that information on swineflu.ie. I'll give you the number again before we leave you. Let's press on. Helen, I want to turn to you on this. In relation to waste, in relation to food, best before dates, you are dealing with people who have no concept of what it's like to pick up a packet of food and see an out of date or use by date. They would eat it at all costs. We throw it out.
That's right. It's really quite frightening, isn't it? And I know Hilary Benn in the UK was the minister who was talking about this. We're saying in the UK apparently something like 10 billion worth of food is thrown out every year. 10 billion! I really thought I was flummoxed by that, nearly speechless. And I think when I think in World Vision, part of what we do is we're involved with the World Food Programme, giving food to people who otherwise would not have it. No, there's no best before dates on that food. And I think, and I suppose, allied to the fact that we're in recessionary times now, it is a very sharp lesson to us all. I also read recently that apparently we all throw out about a third of the food that's in our fridges.
We do. I think it is an absolute sin that we commit in this country. I'm guilty of it myself. At the end of the week, you go through the fridge and say, waste.
That's right, yeah. And I mean, if it's true that we throw out a third, what is that? You know, what is that in the household budget? I dread to think. And I know myself, yeah, you open the fridge at the end of the week, you're about to do your shopping, and there's still stuff there from the previous week, and oh gosh, that... broccoli has gone a little bit brown, you know.
Yeah.
And
OK,
there you
well,
go.
let me ask this in relation to... I'll go back to the PR perspective on this, Adrian. I would imagine that there are a lot of companies out there in the business of food processing particularly who relish the idea that individuals don't or decide to ditch food before the best before date or on the particular date, because it means that the manufacturer will continue to manufacture the food, get more pounds in the pocket, get more sales.
I think that's an easy understanding to make an assumption on from the outside, but I think big brands these days realise the power of the consumer and they don't want to hoodwink the consumer. That said...
They don't. They're happy with the fact that the consumer will go along with this way of thinking.
I think those that are a disgrace. They should communicate it much better. I think there's a real issue of confusion and lack of understanding. The best before date, from what I'm aware, is that the best before talks about quality and flavour, but all of us assume it's for safety. I think apart from eggs, with most products it means there's a slight deterioration. I know there was a journalist at the weekend who did a 2-week test.
They just said to develop characteristics that are unacceptable or undesirable. These unacceptable or undesirable characteristics can be microbiological, chemical or physical. That is in relation to the shelf life of something. It's not going to kill you.
No, it's not going to kill you. And I'm surprised more food brands haven't stood up and said to consumers, here it is, here's the best use before date for absolute safety. But, you know, in the intervening period of the 2 weeks before that, there might be some impact on quality or colour or flavour. I think it would be a great stance for them to take in the same way as they tried organic a few years ago. Be honest with the consumer. OK, Mairead, are you conscious of the dates on foods?
God, no.
Would you eat, for example, something that's 2 days over?
Yeah, no problem.
Too.
No problem with milk, cheese, anything like that. No hassle at all. But I've 3 kids. And they look, oh my God, it's gone off, rotten off, bin. Yeah, but it's not just that food. It's not the food that's in your fridge. It's like the apples, the misshapen apples. It's the carrots that aren't straight. It's all the food that even doesn't make it to the supermarket because someone deems it not to be perfect.
And briefly to you, Paul, are you of the same view?
I am. It's another case of ignorance is bliss. My girlfriend, she's a family full of doctors. She knows absolutely every antibody and bacteria that can kill you. So anything that goes approaching their best before date, she chucks out. I go back to the student days, open it, smell it, taste it. If the gag reflex...
Smells okay and
if you
tastes
can't spray
okay,
penicillin off it,
okay.
it's fine. That's all I'm saying.
If it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Exactly.
You need a certain amount of immunity.
Take a break, we're right back.